Data released today by the State Department of Health shows opioid-related overdose deaths in the Bay State have decreased slightly in the last year. Between October 1st, 2022 and September 30th, 2023, there were 2,323 confirmed and estimated opioid-related overdose deaths, 8 fewer than last year. Massachusetts had a record of 2,359 opioid-related overdose deaths in all of 2022, and Governor Maura Healey releasing a statement to the new data saying, in part, quote, "The overdose crisis continues to devastate our communities and families throughout Massachusetts. When I read these numbers, I'm heartbroken to think about the lives connected to each one and their loved ones who are enduring this tragic loss."